So wrapping things up and getting started. So remember, mindset is absolutely everything. Now here's some action steps for you to take right now. Right, firstly, you've got to stop over analyzing things. I used to do this a lot, and a lot of people that I meet in the group are still doing this right now. I completely understand it, and I understand why you're doing it, but however, you really need to stop over analyzing the finer details and just look at the thing in a big picture to actually get started. So you need to first publish something, all right, and understand that it's never actually going to be perfect at all, right? Even my own stuff, and as much as it's made me a lot of money now, even just yesterday, I changed one of my sales pages and added some text in there and some images and things like that. So I know that my stuff's never ever going to be perfect, and you should take that attitude as well. When you first get it out there, it's probably going to be crap, but once it's there, then you actually have some framework to work on, and you can start removing things, adding things, and basically making your sales pitch almost, and your service listings more professional, more appealing as you go. And lastly, and this is the most important thing and the fundamental thing to actually getting to that 10k a month, 20k, 30k and upwards, is tracking your time. So I'm going to go into this in a bit more detail shortly. Right, there's something known as the danger zone. Right, paralysis by analysis. Okay, so what that means is you're basically researching something so deeply in the pursuit of perfection that you never actually take any action on it. I used to do this a lot with all sorts of different types of internet marketing and freelancing and basically anything that I could see that could potentially make me a lot of money online. I would research so deeply that I never actually got anything started anyway. So my advice is to take action first, okay? Don't worry about other people maybe criticizing you or getting out there publicly and not looking perfect, because you just need to get something out there, and then you can start speaking to people, all right? You can speak to me, you can mingle with other people in groups, just like the legit Freelancers group, okay? For you guys that are not in that group, there's the facebook.com group URL at the bottom of this slide. So just to compound on that, don't overanalyze everything, anything at all. Just take the basics, get it out there, and then start speaking to people about how you can improve your listings and how you can bring customers in. So again, publish something now. It doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be either. Get something out there anyway, and again, ask me or ask people in the groups and slowly work on it until sales are really rolling in. Now, really rolling in, I use the word rolling in because what usually happens is once you make your first sale, it kind of creates a snowball effect where as long as that first customer is happy, they're likely to buy from you again. Okay, so that'll be 2 sales from 1 customer. Then what will happen is once that customer leaves you a review, somebody else will see it and then they'll buy again. And assuming that the second person is also happy, then you've got 2 customers and the second person will also buy from you again, and so on and so on. And that's when things really start to snowball and you get to, again, the 10k, 20k and 30k a month freelancing income. So it can really add up. Right, so back to the most important thing. This is the fundamental foundation that you need to actually scale your business to those kind of numbers that I just spoke to you about. So you've got to track absolutely everything, right? I'm talking about tracking time. So I like to use the app Time Doctor. There's plenty of apps out there, but I like Time Doctor because it's very simple. So what you need to do is not just track the time that you're spending at work, but also track the time from every little task that you're spending time on, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and do that for 7 days. You don't have to do this forever. However, it's a very good habit to get into at least. So what you need to do is you need to track everything. So track how long it takes you to drink your coffee in the morning, how long it takes to have a shower, to walk the dog, to chat to your customers, the Facebook conversations you're having, the books you're reading, the spreadsheet you're adding stuff to, absolutely everything, okay? With the app, all you simply need to do is type in the task that you're doing, hit start, and let the app run. And when you finish, just hit stop like that. It's very simple. So you don't have to sit there jotting things down on paper. You just use an app, all right? And then what will happen is at the end of 7 days, if you've tracked everything and you're honest, it will give you a summary and an overview of where you're spending most amount of your time. And I was really shocked when I first did this, and if you've never done this, I'm sure you'll be shocked too. But there's a lot of things that we spend time on that we don't even realize, and that's where basically time leaks are happening and money leaks are happening. Like, for example, if you're spending 10 minutes a day on maybe, I don't know, cleaning your desk or doing something within your house, okay? You might see it as an essential thing that you need to do, but if you add up the time over a week, you might find yourself spending an hour doing something or 2 hours doing something that you could possibly pay somebody else to do, or maybe have your spouse help you do that or something like that, you know? So tracking your time, I mean, I'm talking about commuting as well, commuting to work and things like that, buying, you know, popping into the local Tesco's or something like that and spending money on grabbing a snack or something like that. You've got to track absolutely everything, okay? And then that's when you start to understand where your time and your money is going, and that's when you can start calculating something known as relative income. And then you eliminate what's actually not making you money. Right, so your time and freedom. So time and freedom, these are two things that sort of roll hand in hand. Freedom is one of my strongest values, I guess. Some people value security over freedom. I'm assuming as a freelancer yourself, or somebody's looking to get into freelancing, that you're also really into freedom as well. Some people prefer security, so those people like the 9-to-5 kind of jobs and the retirement package and things like that. To me, that feels like fake security. I'm much more into freedom and having time and having freedom to actually be creative in business and my own life as well. So this is what I'm talking about: relative income versus absolute income. So most people will focus on their absolute income. So they will say, I earn great money because I earn $100,000 a year. And then somebody else might say, well, I earn terrible money because I only earn $50,000 a year, or something like that. So these are just examples that I'm rolling off the top of my head. So the problem with thinking about absolute income is it's not really reflective of where they are in their life. So these are two examples that I've just made up again off the top of my head. We've got John and we've got Dave. So John, who is example A, works 12 hours a day and makes $1,000 a day. Okay, very good money in most people's standards. And then we've got Dave, who is example B, and he only works 2 hours a day, but he also makes $1,000 a day. Now, obviously, you want to be Dave. Now, you might be thinking, well, yeah, okay, Captain Obvious. Yes, I want to be Dave. However, if you're not tracking time, there's no way that you can ever become a Dave, and you will end up being a John. So you might be making some really good money. Like, we're talking 7 days a week. So you might be making, say if you're making $1,000 a day, okay, 30 days, $30,000. That's really, really good money in most people's standards. So a lot of people wouldn't complain about that and would say, yeah, I would happily work 12 hours a day for that. But the problem with that is it doesn't last, okay? I've been down this road before, and I've done 12, 14, 16-hour days for a long, long time. And I was earning great money. However, there is a point where you just cannot continue like that. And you get to a crossroad where you either have to decide to reject customers or completely and take on maybe half the amount of work, or completely quit your business and go and get a normal job so you've got some life balance. So obviously you don't want to do that. So this comes back down to tracking your time. So if you are a John working 12 hours a day, right, you're going to burn out and you're not going to be able to grow your business. However, if you're Dave, okay, Dave is smart. He's free to grow his business because he's only working 2 hours a day. All right, he's not burning out, and he has freedom and balance in his life. Right. The point is that Dave uses Time Doctor. All right, Dave tracks everything that he does, and then he basically eliminates the things that aren't making him money, or the things that he can actually outsource or delegate to somebody else. All right, and that is the trick to actually being really, really productive and making good money. All right, is finding out where your time leaks techniques are, and then deciding whether you can completely eliminate that task or whether you can delegate it to somebody else. So delegation could be outsourcing to other freelancers online if it's a task that's within your business, or something in your real life, for example, taking the dog for a walk, or maybe cleaning, your room or your office or something like that. There's certain things in your life that you can get out there and delegate, and that's ultimately what I've managed to do, is delegate a lot of things. And you will get to a point where you're earning pretty decent money and you can consider hiring a maid and a cook, and I've done that before as well, and it was actually really good for me. I got all my food cooked for me, I got everything cleaned, blah blah blah, and me and my wife at the time, we were able to go out and have all the freedom that we wanted to, and then the maid was at home basically cleaning everything and cooking and blah blah blah. So it was really, really good, and if you get that opportunity, think about that as well. So cooking is a really time consuming thing. I don't have that problem anymore because I live over here in Thailand, and generally most of the time I eat out every day anyway, so so it saves me cooking and it saves me shopping for ingredients and all that kind of thing. So anyway, to summarize it, regardless of where you're living, there is always a way that you can delegate or eliminate tasks in your life to free yourself up, and that's what you need to do. So you need to track your time and become a Dave who is working 2 hours a day and not making lots of money, because Dave knows where to eliminate tasks and also where to delegate tasks. So, final notes. Right, throughout this course, if you've been through the first 4 videos, very short course. As I said, this is a free course that's catering mainly for people that are brand new to this, but if you're already a veteran freelancer, hopefully there's things in this course that have helped you as well. So what we've learned in this course, the final notes, so you already know what people want, and you know that the market is absolutely massive. Okay, freelancing is only getting bigger. Okay, I read a statistic the other day that said in 2020 or 2022 in the US, the freelancing market will actually be 50% bigger than the actual employment market. So this isn't really a play type of business. I mean, in a few years' time from the time of me actually doing this video, we're going to be sitting here in the strongest position when it comes to employment, because all of these big companies are now going out there and hiring people remotely, because it doesn't make sense from a cost perspective to actually hire people within on site and go through all the health insurance things that they need to do and the employment and blah blah blah. Freelancing is where the money is at, and it's only getting bigger. So you also know that the perception that people have of you is actually what makes them buy from you in the first place. All right, so you could have an amazing service, you could know that your skills are absolutely brilliant and you're the best in the market, but if they don't have a clear perception or a positive perception of you for one reason or another, maybe you've not communicated properly on your service pages, or maybe your Facebook is very incongruent between what you're saying your services are about and actually who you are, things like that. So the perception that they have of you is one of the most important things for them to basically, hit over that tripwire and start making purchases with you, and making that first purchase actually. So you already know now the exact services to make an easy $100 per day. So $100 a day for most people is, and I'm talking seven days a week. All right, so not the 5 days a week that you would get in normal employment. We're talking 7 days a week. You already know what's going to make you $100 a day, so I'd advise you to go back to that video, look at that, and start releasing services like that, because $100 a day for most people is actually really good money, and you can have a good life on that no matter where you live. It's not wealthy, massive money, but it is enough money to keep most people at the computer, so they can then grow into bigger numbers and $500,000 days and onwards, So we've also skimmed over SEO. So SEO is one of the biggest money makers in the freelancing world, if not the biggest money maker. all of my money has been made through SEO. I know plenty of multi-millionaires who are SEOs who started out as freelancers, and there's plenty that are coming up now. So if you're brand new to this and you're going to start, I'd recommend getting to SEO, because SEO is only just going to get bigger. There's all these talks of SEO's dead and SEO's going to die, and that's been going for absolutely years. But for as long as Google exists and for as long as they have an algorithm, SEO will always exist in one form or another. Okay, so SEO will die in its previous form, but SEO, search engine optimization, as long as there's a search engine, there's always going to be a way to optimize your rankings in that search engine. Okay, and people will pay big money for it, because SEO is basically a replacement for paid advertising. Okay, so that's why people want to pay for it, because it makes sense in the long term in terms of the investment that they need to make. And you also know now that tracking your time is the most important thing out of all of this, assuming that you want your freedom and you want to actually make good money. And finally, you now have a community, and you also have me to ask if you get stuck on anything. So going back to the the perfection topic, don't worry about being perfect. Okay, you're never going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. The things that I put out there sometimes fail, and then sometimes are really successful. But the main thing is you just need to get something out there. Okay, once you've got something published in the marketplace, like I said, I always recommend legit.com, because at the time of me doing this video, it's just over a year old and it's growing every single day, and it's a really, really good marketplace. So I recommend going to legit.com, which is legit.com, and posting your freelancing listing on there. And again, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, just put it out there anyway. Then you can come to me, ask me what I think about it, and then obviously ask in the Legit Facebook group as well. And that's it. So hopefully this little mini course has helped give you some more ideas. Like I said, if you're brand new to this, I recommend starting with SEO. Keep the perception in your mind, and also just actually take massive action. Secondly, if you're a veteran at this, or you're already making good money, hopefully this has given you some new ideas. And if you've got any questions, guys, you can send me a message on Facebook, or in the Legit group, or in my own Facebook group, which is the Freelancers Templar. All right, it's a Facebook group at the moment, but obviously you will probably know that anyway if you're on this course. And that's it from me, guys. I'm going to head out now and grab myself a coffee. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Peace.